The Pentagon is experimenting with AI that can predict events days in advance. If you're wondering just how advanced artificial intelligence systems are getting, then know this: the U.S. military is testing an experimental AI network tasked with identifying likely future events worthy of closer attention, and days before they occur. The series of tests are called the Global Information Dominance Experiments, and they combine data from a huge variety of sources, including satellite imagery, intelligence reports, sensors in the field, radar, and more. Cloud computing also plays an important part in this setup, making sure that vast chunks of data collected from all over the world can be processed efficiently and then accessed by whichever military officials and agencies need them. GUIDE, the Global Information Dominance Experiments, embodies a fundamental change in how we use information and data to increase decision space for leaders from the tactical level to the strategic level. Not only military leaders, but it also gives opportunity for our civilian leaders. U.S. Air Force General Glenn D. Van Herk explained in a press briefing last week. The idea is to anticipate the moves of other nations way ahead of time, which means deterrence and precautions can be put in place before the fighting starts or before hostilities have a chance to ramp up. In fact, the jump in logics aren't as huge as you might think. If preparations are being made for a submarine to leave port, for example, then it's fairly obvious it's on its way out to sea. Where the AI really helps is in using machine learning to spot and collate all this information much more quickly than human operatives can. Another example is the number of cars in the car park. Let me try that again. Another example is the number of cars in a car park at a military base or research station, perhaps. If the AI sees increased activity, it can flag it to other parts of the system, where it's then analyzed as part of a massive data set. The data exists, said Van Herk. What we're doing is making the data available and shared it into a cloud where machine learning and artificial intelligence look at it. And they process it real quickly and provide it to decision makers, which I call decision superiority. I call that SkyNet and other things. But okay, let me keep going. This gives us days of advance warning and ability to react, where in the past we may not have put eyes on with any analysis of a what was the definition for that? There we go. Geospatial intelligence. That's what that is. Imagery. Now we are doing that within minutes or near real time. Understandably, the U.S. isn't giving too much away about how exactly this new AI system works or how they process the information they're gathering, but the end result is more data processed in a quicker time. This third set of guide testing was recently completed and a fourth is planned. While the experiments sound a bit minority report, because they are, at the moment, people being arrested for crimes before they've been committed. Officials are framing them as a form of supercharged information gathering rather than ways to actually see into the future. Van Herk stresses that humans are still making all the decisions based on the data that the machine learning systems produce, and say that the AI under supplement will likely end up de-escalating situations rather than opposite. The ability to see days in advance creates decision space. Decision space for me is an operational commander to potentially posture forces to create deterrence options to provide that to the secretary or even to the president. Figure by the time we hear this, people, how old is the information? How old do you think this news really is? This is not new. By the time stuff is made available to the public, how old do you think it really is? What does this sound like to you? To me, it sounds like a bunch of BS. A bunch of people just compiling your data, using it for their recognition technology. Oh, my goodness. It's just SkyNet and above. Attack of the clone world, clones and War of the Worlds combined. I don't know. This is just crazy.